Hello there, my name is Kevin Snyder of Snyder Law, and I'm an estate planning and elder law planning attorney. And today I'd like to talk to you about what a pour-over will really is. I get asked often, what's the difference between a will and a trust, and do I need either or both? You can look at one of our other videos that we have here on the website if you want to know a little bit more about the difference between a will and a trust. Today I'm going to talk about the pour-over will and the fact that if you're creating a revocable living trust, then you're also going to be creating in tandem or together a pour-over will. And what a pour-over will is it's your safety net in the event that you pass away with some items that you own, assets that you own in your name only that were not in your trust. Because remember, any assets that are in your trust, and if we think about a trust as a box, if it's in this box, then the trust controls the assets that are in the box. But every so often, there are things that get left out of the box, either, of course, on purpose or by accident. And the accident is the most common situation, is that there was some oversight that wasn't considered, or it was acquired after the trust was made and was never put into the trust box. And so it's not part of the trust, and so the trustee does not have the legal authority to manage those assets, and the trust design does not include those assets that are outside of the trust. So in the situation that you've died, what happens? Well, you might end up in probate court, and that would be a big problem, and of course something you wanted to avoid when you created your revocable living trust to begin with. So in order to create a safety net to have an attempt to avoid a full probate in that situation when you have died and there's assets outside of your trust, then you want to have a pour-over will. The purpose of the pour-over will, and you'll see the genesis of the name, is that it's supposed to scoop up the assets that are outside of your trust box and pour it over the top of the box and put it into your trust after you've passed away. That is the beauty and the purpose of the safety net of the pour-over will. So then any assets, whether if they're left out of the trust, ultimately end up in the trust. That's the concept. Of course, this doesn't happen magically or automatically, and unfortunately does involve a court process. But the importance is it's your best opportunity to potentially avoid a full probate. Because there are situations in which people have died and have had property outside of their trust box, and a full probate is necessary in order for the court to determine what happens with that particular asset. So we want to make sure that we have a pour-over will that pairs correctly or in the best manner with your trust, so it can act as that safety net, and it can, in effect, pour it over into the top of the trust. But as I mentioned, this does happen in court, but it's a limited court action. It's not a full probate if this is done correctly. There are ways in which you can go to court for that specific purpose to make that specific request. And the people that are doing that, of course, are your executors. Here in California, we call them personal representatives that are going on your behalf to do that. So it's a great way to just have a catch-all safety measure to protect against situations in which you have forgotten to put something in your trust, or there was an oversight, or you've newly acquired it and didn't have an opportunity to get it in your trust. An example that I like to give, of course, the person that wins the lottery and so excited that they're not paying attention and gets in a car accident and dies, what happens with the lottery money? Well, a pour-over will assist in that situation. Just as if you have done a refinance on your home and unbeknownst to you, the mortgage company through escrow didn't put the title back in your trust, but when they had to take it out to secure the refinance mortgage. That happens all the time. So in that situation, unbeknownst to you, there was an oversight and it wasn't your fault, but now it's too late. You've passed away. What can we do? Another great example for a pour-over will to come in and deal with the situation. And lastly, a situation that we've seen recently this past year is that if you have a married couple that passes away close in time, then they might not have the ability to redesignate beneficiaries on retirement accounts. And the last spouse to die might have created a situation where there are assets from the retirement accounts that are outside of their trust because there wasn't in their trust, it can't be, and there aren't any newly designated beneficiaries on them. So now it's in that person's probate estate. So there are situations that deal with that as well. So it's always a great idea if you're creating a revocable living trust to have a pour-over will. If you meet with an estate planning attorney, they'll walk you through that process, but that just kind of gives you a background information about it. Again, my name is Kevin Snyder of Snyder Law. I'm an estate planning and elder law planning attorney in Irvine, California. If you have any questions about what I've talked about today, please reach out. Happy to help. And please feel free to look at the website. There's some other great videos that provide some great value for others. And if you can think of a topic that you want to hear more about, also reach out, send me an email, let me know what you want to hear about. Okay, again, Kevin Snyder, Snyder Law. I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.